Thank you all for coming today. For members of the media, once the press conference concludes, interviews will become available.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm Assembly Majority Leader Cecilia Aguiar-Curry, and I'm proud to stand here with this broad coalition of support for AB 1776. From small businesses and workers to consumers to labor and economic justice advocates. We're all standing here today because our state is missing one of the most important tools to address California's affordability crisis. In today's economy, too few corporations control 75% of industries, and we are all paying for it. Over decades of market consolidation, dominant corporations have raised prices, suppressed wages, reduced consumer choice, and made it harder for entrepreneurs and small businesses to compete. This affects everyone. Grocery workers and our folks in the trades, who once could afford to buy homes, are being priced out of the communities they serve. Fire departments facing rising costs and long delivery delays because they can't get the equipment they need from only a handful of companies dominating the marketplace. This is a matter of public safety. We can't wait for new fire trucks and equipment when California residents need emergency response, firefighters, and EMTs. In the entertainment industry, growing consolidation has decreased opportunities for our creative workers and independent businesses throughout Los Angeles. We're seeing it and we're living it across California's economy. Fewer competitors means higher costs and fewer opportunities for us. AB 1776 can help fix that by closing the loophole. We need to close this loophole in California's century-old antitrust law, the Cartwright Act. Right now, the Cartwright Act says if two companies get together and hurt competition, that can be illegal. But when dominant company does the same thing, California's antitrust law doesn't protect us. And that just doesn't make sense in today's economy. Does it?
No.
AB 1776 doesn't punish success. Let me remind you, we're not punishing success. It doesn't punish a company from growing or making money. If you build the best product, provide the best service, and compete on your merits, we want you to succeed. And you should succeed. But when a dominant company uses its power to shut out competition and hurt small businesses, consumers, or workers, California should have the tools to step in. As AB 1776 makes its way through the legislative process, we've listened to feedback. We've made significant amendments. And we will work until the very end to get this right. I want to thank you to everyone who is here today. Your work on this bill is essential, and I look forward to getting across the finish line. Up next, to talk more about this bill, is Senator Dr. Alicia, Wahab.
All right. Good morning. I'd like to first thank Majority Leader Aguiar-Curry for authoring this legislation to modernize California's antitrust laws. I'm going to say a couple things. Number one, I really want to highlight that this bill is also in support of small businesses. right? Small businesses that are largely led by our immigrant community, our single moms, are people that are trying to dodge the corporate ladder because they can't go further, and they become entrepreneurs, right? And what is happening here is that we are seeing corporations literally become monopolies and live in their silo where they control everything from production to the final sale. And that is not allowing for competition. That is not allowing for cheaper prices for our consumers and much more. And I have said this very clearly. In this building, when we are talking about industry, it is always legislation protecting industry rather than protecting the consumer, rather than protecting the small business person that is not able to be here to advocate for themselves. And it's about time that we update these laws. In fact, at the federal level, they should be breaking up monopolies. Right. There should be no reason why a monopoly is here in California and a person is working full-time and still on food stamps. Absolutely. This is what this bill is about. So we're seeing increased concentrations of corporate power, have empowered monopolies and consolidated industries to dictate prices and control job markets, which has significantly contributed to the affordability crisis. Market concentration has led to wage fixing, price hyperinflation, and reduced growth opportunities in the healthcare, agricultural, and consumer retail sectors, but pretty much every sector, because everything is moving online and being in these industries, if you will. Right. When markets become less competitive, consumers pay more, the job market suffers, and small businesses face significant barriers. AB 1776 is designed to ensure California's antitrust laws are equipped to address anti-competitive conduct in today's economy. And let's be very, very clear. We need more of this. We need to go further and deeper. The fact that this hasn't been touched in 100 years is extremely disappointing. Without this necessary reform, corporations will continue to weaponize anti-competitive behavior to reduce innovation and upward economic mobility for everyday consumers and small business owners. So I'm a very proud supporter of AB 1776. We ensure that the competition thrives. Consumers have options and entrepreneurs have room to innovate. So I really want to thank the majority leader. I want to thank all the labor leaders that are standing behind this and really trying to push this forward. And I do hope that this passes and the governor signs it. So thank you very much.
Next we'll have Assembly Member Damon Conley. He's a bill co-author.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Assemblymember Damon Conley. It's my privilege to represent Sonoma and Marin counties in the Assembly and to be co-authoring AB 1776. I want to start by thanking Majority Leader Aguilar Curry for authoring this vital piece of legislation that will support California's small businesses and help advance a more equitable, competitive economy. I also want to thank all these great folks with us today from across California who are here showcasing why we need AB 1776 now more than ever. AB 1776 is necessary to fix the long overdue issues and inequities created by California antitrust law, and to help support our small businesses, consumers, and workers. At a time when we are witnessing big corporations dominate markets and further strengthen their monopolies, we need the Compete Act to increase competitiveness and offer consumers, workers, and small businesses a chance to succeed in an economy that isn't stacked against them. Californians have a keen sense of fairness. Yes. They know that the current system is allowing the richest people in the world to exploit the system and to take even more away from them. Not just their money, but their jobs and their opportunity to grow a small business and build out their dreams. By holding big businesses accountable, we will instill free and fair competition in our markets and encourage fair and stable economic growth. AB 1776 gets right to the heart of the matter. protecting our economy from future abuse. I urge my colleagues to join us in protecting Californians and in supporting this critical reform. And again, thank you immensely to Assemblymember Aguiar-Curry for leading the charge on this important legislation. Let's get this across the finish line. Are you with me? All right, with that, it's my pleasure to introduce our amazing colleague, Assemblymember Nick Schultz.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We are all here standing arm in arm because we think it is long past time that California compete, and that is why we're going to pass AB 1776. I'd like to provide just a little bit of background. California has long led the nation in protecting competition, innovation, and economic opportunity. But when it comes to antitrust law, our state is behind at the exact moment when we need to be stepping up and leading across the nation. The federal government, let's be very clear about this, the federal government is pulling back from antitrust enforcement. And even former Republican antitrust officials have called on states to do more. And that's astounding. Even the fox guarding the henhouse is saying that we should do more. California has a major gap in its laws, and I want to emphasize and uplift a comment by our incredible author, our esteemed majority leader. We have a major gap in law. Our laws prohibit generally two companies from working together to undermine competition, but when one dominant company acts alone to monopolize a market, California does not have the same enforcement tools. AB 1776 closes that gap and brings California in line with both federal law and 45 other states. 45 other states. Quite simply, California is already late to the party. Let's not be the last one through the door. Opponents claim, misleadingly, that this bill will open the floodgates to frivolous lawsuits, and let's be incredibly clear, it won't. That is not factual and it's not accurate. These are not simple cases. Allow me to elaborate. To bring a successful claim, you have to prove that one, the defendant had substantial market power, two, that they engaged in prohibited conduct, and three, that they actually harmed competition. That is an appropriate standard. And all of that requires economic analysis, experts, evidence, and significant resources. The point that I'm making is this is nothing like a Proposition 65 or ADA demand letter model where someone can simply identify dozens of small businesses and send out letters hoping for quick settlements. And in fact, as the author mentioned, AB 1776 specifically exempts small business from these new provisions. The bill targets conduct, not size and not success. A company that succeeds because it has a better product, lower prices, or out-innovates its competitors has nothing to fear from this bill. And that is exactly what we should be encouraging and expecting of all of our business, to compete with each other and to offer the best possible product at the best possible prices, because when we do that, working people in California can actually survive and they win. What a company cannot do is use its dominance to unfairly block competitors from the market and prevent competition itself. In closing, I really want to make this comment to any of our colleagues or their staff, anyone who will be voting on this bill that's listening. Every so often, we have a moment as elected officials to stand on the right side of history. We will be judged by how we vote on this measure. Let history show that we stood up for working people and not the wealthy and not the most powerful corporations trying to dominate our media and dominate our society. There's one right way to vote on this bill, and that's to vote yes on AB 1776. We cannot let exaggerated claims about litigation and untruths stop us from fixing a 119-year-old law. We are the fourth largest economy in the world, and we should not be one of the last states to fail to meet this moment and act to put those safeguards in place. So as we move forward today, to all of my colleagues, to our governor, let's stand for working people. They've entrusted us to fight for them. Let's actually deliver on that promise. Thank you all very much. And next, it is my honor and privilege to represent my friend and our Assembly Labor Committee Chair, Assemblymember Liz Ortega.
Thank you to my colleagues. Thank you to the Majority Leader for having the courage AB 1776. Because enough is enough with this corporate greed. When are we going to be done giving billionaires more of our money so that they can become trillionaires? We've made a promise. When businesses compete, we're all supposed to win. But we all know that that is not working. It's not working that way. Our dollars don't stretch enough. I hear this every day from my constituents. People just can't get enough. They can't get ahead enough. They're working. They're doing everything right. But their dollars are not paying for even some of the most basic needs anymore. Something is happening to our money. But it's more than just inflation. It's the sense that we're all getting scammed. We know it's happening, but it's not always easy to tell how that is happening. But that's how scams work. You feel it, but you don't see it. So let me give you some examples. Big hospitals are buying up your local doctor's offices and making it harder for you to pay for your treatment. Landlords are using AI to drive up sky-high rents. Amazon promised to support our small businesses, but now they're raising prices on the entrepreneurs to make everything more expensive for us. We are getting scammed. Small businesses are going bankrupt, and big corporations are raising prices while cheating us all of our paychecks. So AB 1776 says enough is enough. Say no more to scamming us, no more to cheating. It's time for small businesses to have a fair playing field and for consumers to get fair prices. Our colleagues will have a choice to make. Do you stand with small businesses and consumers, or do you stand with corporate greed? That is the choice when you have that button on your desk. Thank you, and thank you again to our majority leader.
It's my privilege to introduce our American labor leader, civil rights activist, co-founder of the United Farm Workers Union, Dolores Huerta.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for supporting this important legislation. I just wanted to tell my personal story. My mother was a single parent with 3 children. And the only way that she could possibly make her way in life and to support her children, make it possible for us to go to college, was to start a business. And that's exactly what she did. She started a small restaurant. Eventually, she took over a hotel from one of her Japanese friends who was going to the internment camps. But there are so many mothers out there, single mothers, people who have really very, very few opportunities to make their way in this world. And when they create a small business, not only are they able to support and sustain their families, but they are added to our economy every single day. So all of those small entrepreneurs out there, all of those small businesses out there, they are a vital part of our economy. And that we should do everything that we can to make, not only to make sure that they can continue, because if you have these other larger organizations that are constantly trying to put them out of business, that is not good. It's not good for our economy. It's not good for our social life here in the United States of America. So we have to continue to do everything that we can to support our small business community. And of course, we wanted to say to everybody, please, please, we need an aye vote, a yes vote on AB 1776. Sí se puede. And now to introduce our great leader, the president of the California Labor Federation of California, Lorena Gonzalez.
I don't think I have to speak after that. I mean, who's going to listen to me who's not listening to Lourdes Huerta? I just want to thank the majority leader. This is a testament to her bravery. And I don't say that lightly, as somebody who in a former life might have taken on a lot of interests. This is a tough bill. But as Assemblymember Schultz says, it's historic. It is like beyond anything we can imagine. I want people to remember how we got here, right? 115 years ago, we faced railroads, we faced trusts. This is like that on steroids. But we had like a progressive era where trust busters came in at the federal level. We did our reforms here in California and we made a difference. We broke up those trusts. The federal government is not coming to save us. There are no Teddy Roosevelts that are coming to save us. So we need to save ourselves. This is about the corporate concentration of power. That's what's happened here. And people can hide behind litigation threats or small business, to say, I don't know, this might hurt somebody. That's bullshit. This is about big tech wielding their power in California. And as a result, not just to get wealthier, which they're doing, not just to squeeze the little guy, which they're doing, but also to control our elections. This is about democracy. Because as they hoard more and more and more cash, they're putting that right back into the political aspect. They're putting it right back into elections, and we're seeing it every single day. The corporate spending on elections here in California is out of control. Nationally, it's out of control. And rest assured, it is those big tech companies. It is those corporations, Amazon, others. So when I say I am so proud to stand with our majority leader, shoulder to shoulder, it takes special legislators to come out here and advocate for what is right, what is in the best interest of their constituents, what is in the best interest of small businesses and the state of California in the face of big money. They're not even labor leaders. They're doing it knowing they're gonna face off against these powerful interests. I thank them, because what they're doing helps working people. It helps our unions. It helps wages. You'll hear more about that from some of the labor leaders behind me. But I want to say it takes bravery, it takes skill, and I hope every legislator, if they want to sleep well at night, think about the effects of this on not just our jobs here in California, but on history and where we are today and where this state and this country is going. Thank you for carrying this bill, Cecilia, and we hope to get it passed. It's my pleasure to bring up the president of the California Western States Council, UFCW, Mark Ramos.
Hello, everyone. First off, a big round of applause for all of our incredible speakers. And Majority Leader, thank you so much again for leading on this issue that is so important. And again, just to highlight the idea that all people want is a fair chance. And when we consolidate power in the hands of so few, so many are left out of the process and left out of achieving what we all consider to be the American dream. And the American dream starts with a chance. So again, my name is Mark Ramos. I am proud to serve as the president of UFCW Western States Council and UFCW Local 1428 in Claremont, California. UFCW is the largest private sector union in California and the nation, but what matters most is not the size of our union, it's the people that we represent. Our members are people who keep our communities running. We're grocery workers, we're farm workers, we're pharmacists, we're retail workers, we're cannabis workers, and we're even the people that work at Disneyland when you shop there. So our workers show up for our communities day in and day out. They put in long hours and they deserve a chance to build their futures. I've spent more than 38 years in this industry. I started in 1987 at Alpha Beta in Azusa, California. And as a union grocery worker in 1999, my wife and I were able to buy a home and raise our family, and I was making $15 an hour. But that's not a reality for our members today, and it's not a reality for most working people today. Whether you're a grocery worker, and to be honest, even if you're a college professor, it's really hard to achieve that dream. But that's not the reality. As I said, it's not the reality for our members, but the vast majority of Californians are working towards a version of American dream that is just much harder to achieve now. It's made even tougher by market consolidation. When we need to do something about it, and AB 1776 gets right to the heart of the idea of making the American dream achievable. When I bought that home in 1999 in Laverne, California, there were over 12 union grocery stores in Southern California. Today there are only 3. Only 3. Those 3 companies dominate the industry, and there are no limits to their control. And don't forget, the proposed merger between Kroger and Albertsons would have left us with 2. I know what that consolidation means because I've lived it. I was once laid off because of a merger in 1992, 2 days after finding out my wife was pregnant with our first child. It means that workers are hurt by consolidation. Look, workers are the first ones to feel the effect of consolidation. They're the first ones most affected by consolidation. When too much power is in too few hands, workers lose bargaining power, consumers lose choices, and small businesses struggle to compete. That's why 1770 and 76 matters. Under the Cartwright Act, we can challenge deals involving multiple companies that suppress competition, but we have fewer tools when a single dominant company uses its market power to drive up prices, crush wages, crush workers' rights to organize, and benefits and shuts others out of the market. AB 1776 closes that gap. It's essential that we protect workers, consumers, and competition. Competition isn't just about companies competing for customers, it's also about companies competing for workers. Workers deserve the freedom to choose where they want to work. They deserve the right to organize a union if they choose so, without one massive consolidated company crushing their will. Look, this is easy. Some folks have said up here before I spoke, the legislators who will be casting votes in the building behind us when this vote comes to the floor, understand why you were sent here. You were sent here to make California the place of dreams, the place where the reality of owning a home and raising a family is achievable. When we consolidate markets, those things get harder to achieve. You weren't sent here to vote for and support corporations. You were sent here to support the people who voted you into office, and you made a lot of commitments to them. You made a lot of commitments to those folks about how you were here and being sent here to protect the communities that you serve. That's what AB 1776 is about. And again, I want to thank the Majority Leader for all of her work on this and all of the legislators. And know when this vote comes up, it is going to be imperative that every single one of us here makes those phone calls, sends those texts to make sure legislators are hearing from us. So thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to come speak with you. It is my great honor to introduce to you Charlotte Neal, the District 8 North Chair of the Union of Domestic Workers. Charlotte.
Good morning. My name is Charlotte Neal, and I am a child care provider and a small business owner of a 24-hour family child care program. I am also a member of the executive board of UDW Ask Me Local 3930. Can I get a whoop whoop? Representing over 250,000 in-home supportive services, IHSS, and child care providers throughout the state. I am here today to support AB 1776. Child care providers like me are essential lifeline for working families across our state. We are fundamental to the California economy as we do the work that makes all other work possible. I'm going to say that again. That makes all other work possible. As As a small business owner and second-generation family child care provider in Sacramento County, I cover all the main expenses that come with operating my program and caring for the children in my program. Most of the families I serve are very low income and working class. The only things parents need to worry about is drop-offs and pickups. I provide the meals, the snacks, the hygiene supplies, stimulating and supportive learning environment for the children in my care. There is nothing that warms my heart more than to guide, to educate, and to care for each child in my program. However, skyrocketing costs of food, gas, let me say that again, gas, transportation, utility bills, insurance premiums, and health and safety equipment to keep my space up and to code. It's getting harder to make ends meet. I don't know how much longer I can afford to stay open to provide the products I need to adequately serve the children. AB 1776 tackles a core issue of why life is so expensive. Fewer and fewer corporations are owning and more of everything, from food prices to supplies and more. Mega corporations are exploiting a loophole in California. Law has to make billions in profit while driving up costs every day for everyday people like myself, like the people you see behind me. We must address the affordability crisis by checking corporate concentration and greed. I am a small business owner, and I am calling on California legislators to support my business by voting yes on AB 1776. Can I get a whoop whoop? Thank you. And next, I would like to bring up Angie Chu, owner and CEO of Bobo Design Studios.
Good morning. My name is Angie Chua, and I'm the owner of a stationery company called Bobo Design Studio and Bobo Palm Springs, a brick and mortar shop in Palm Springs, California. And I'm here today because unchecked monopoly power harmed my small business, and it harms thousands of small businesses like mine every day. Last December, I noticed strange order activity on my website, and I thought someone was testing stolen credit cards. What I found out instead was that Amazon had scraped my entire product catalog, our photos, our product descriptions, even products that we had deleted and discontinued, and listed them for sale on their platform without asking or giving me an opportunity to consent.
Shame.
I've made a deliberate choice not to sell on Amazon, but they've made that decision for me anyways. When I spoke up, I learned that I wasn't alone. Hundreds, if not thousands of other independent retailers discovered the same thing had happened to them. Their entire storefronts lifted from Shopify, WooCommerce, Squarespace, and dropped into Amazon under a program that they called Buy For Me. When I tried to get my products taken down, I received vague and automated responses. It took several days to get my products removed, but others I know waited much, much longer. Here's why this matters beyond my small business. Small businesses like mine are the backbone of our communities. We create 99% of the new jobs here in California, and we bring life to our main streets. When a company with this much power can take our work, our brand, our customer relationships, and decide that none of that requires our permission, that's simply just not right. It's bad for fair competition, and it's exploitation.
Right.
I exhausted all of my options to fix this problem, but our 100-plus-year-old antitrust laws left me with no recourse. That's why I'm here in support of the Compete Act. All small business owners want is the chance to compete on a fair playing field.
Right.
We want to attract customers with our quality products, our exceptional service, and by earning and keeping their dollars in their business fair and square. Right now, because of online retailers that rip off our products and undercut us on our own goods, that playing field does not exist. The Compete Act would finally give California real tools to say that this kind of conduct is against the law. I want to be clear on what this bill is not. It does not punish a company for being big or for being good at what it does. It punishes the abuse of that size to break the rules that everyone else has to follow. Amazon did not outcompete me. It did not win over my customers with a better product or a better price.
Right.
It took what I built without asking, and they counted on me not having any real way to stop it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Compete Act gives small businesses like mine the power to fight back. I told this story to the Law Revision Commission, reporters, lawyers, former FTC members, anybody who would listen, because I believe that this is a warning about where unchecked corporate power leads if we don't act.
Yes.
Every day this goes unaddressed is another day a small business owner discovers their life's work sitting on someone else's platform without their consent. I'm asking the legislature to pass the Compete Act and to send it to Governor Newsom's desk. Small businesses across California like mine are counting on it. Thank you. And next, I'd like to invite Krista Marshall, co-founder and program manager, Seeds of Solidarity Urban Farm.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Krista, and I'm here to support the Compete Act because the corporate consolidation we're seeing in food and groceries has reached an untenable level. I'm the co-founder of a mutual aid urban farm project here in Sacramento called the Seeds of Solidarity Urban Farm. We grow and distribute fresh produce to folks in need across our community. Last year, we grew and gave away 9,000 pounds of produce in one farming season. Mutual aid and emergency food access is an essential tool for community resilience. However, nobody should have to depend on mutual aid and emergency food assistance to not go hungry. People should be able to walk to their neighborhood grocery stores and afford what's on the shelf. But more and more, we're seeing this is not the case. 6 years ago, when we started this program, the need was already there, and every year since, this need has grown. Today, Seeds of Solidarity gives our produce to food distribution networks that feed more than 5,000 families across the Sacramento area. We do this all as volunteer work, and each year, because of raising prices, we're seeing the need increasing. This is happening in part because of monopoly abuse and a lack of competition in the food industry. And here's what this looks like. For most items on the grocery shelf, 4 corporations or fewer own at least half of the market share. Here's some specific examples. 4 companies control 97% of the frozen potato market. 5 producers control roughly half the US egg market. 4 meatpacking companies now control 80% of the beef industry across the country. During the pandemic, the largest meatpackers grew their profit margins by more than 300%, and higher meat prices alone have accounted for a quarter of the rise in food costs. And this consolidation doesn't just hurt consumers. Ranchers used to keep 62 cents on the dollar for beef purchases. Today it's 37. Kroger and Albertsons employs approximately a quarter of all grocery workers in America. 78% of Kroger's own workers are now food insecure, 7 times the national average. Nearly 4 out of 5 of the very people stocking our grocery shelves are themselves food insecure, and that's an awful irony. These companies with so much power over the food supply chain that don't get to compete for other customers, and they also squash those who supply and work for our grocery chains. I see the consequences of these monopoly abuses every week in the faces of families and community members who come to us for fresh food. I also see this through my work with Grocery Store Restrictive Covenant Coalition work in California, fighting to keep food deserts from further spreading across our state. When a dominant chain closes a store in our community and then writes language into their deeds to keep competitors from ever opening there, that community can go without a full-service grocery store for many years and sometimes indefinitely. We see this across California. For example, a Safeway closed in Vallejo and hasn't reopened since. In a state as prosperous as ours, there's no excuse for this. That's proof of a food market being rigged. I'm not an economist and I'm not a lawyer. I'm a farmer and I'm a community organizer who sees the impact of corporate consolidation and rising food agricultural prices that push our neighbors towards being more hungry and many of our fellow farmers towards the unemployment line. The COMPETE Act would finally give California the tools to hold companies accountable when they use their size to squeeze farmers, shut out grocers, dominate entire markets, and raise prices on working families who are just trying to make ends meet. I got into this work because I care about my community. 6 years ago and thousands of families later, we're still here and the need keeps growing. I'm asking the legislature to pass the COMPETE Act so that mutual aid farms like mine can continue to strengthen community resilience and fill in when it's needed, not be a lifeline. Thank you. Now I'm asking writer and producer Peter Muerta, Secretary Treasurer and Writers Guild of America West.
I also, like Krista, am not an economist or a lawyer. I'm a writer, and I am representing the Writers Guild, and as long as I live, I'll continue to fold up my homework like I'm 12. My name is Peter Murrieta, and I'm a writer and showrunner working in the industry for 29 years on things like Wizards of Waverly Place, Mr. Iglesias, One Day at a Time, and most recently Primo for Amazon. Don't applaud that. I've won 2 Primetime Emmys for that work, and I'm also here today as the Secretary Treasurer of the Writers Guild of America West, representing 11,000 writers in TV, film, and streaming. I want to thank Assembly Majority Leader Aguiar Curry for inviting me to speak today. I want to thank everybody behind me for being here, and I want to thank you for being here too, because it means you care. This is about the leadership on the COMPETE Act. And I want to say and echo what some have said already, that this isn't about anti-company. I believe workers build companies.
Right.
So that's what this is about. Recent history has shown Californians cannot rely solely on federal courts for protection from the harms of corporate consolidation. In just the past few months, we've seen the Department of Justice rush approval of the Warner Brothers and Paramount merger, reportedly over the objections of career DOJ staff internal to that organization. The states, led by our Attorney General Rob Bonta, were forced to step up and sue to block the merger to protect Californians. And along with the states, the Writers Guild of America was compelled to sue to protect our members from the harms of anti-competitive conduct. Anti-competitive conduct in our industry doesn't stop at harmful mergers. We've seen single companies use anti-competitive tactics to abuse their dominance and disadvantage competitors. For example, vertically integrated Amazon again has used its array of interconnected businesses to demand greater shares of other companies' advertising revenues and to get greater control over the viewership data of competing platforms. We just heard about that. Without rules that limit anti-competitive behavior of a single firm, dominant companies have the power to disadvantage competitors across the entertainment industry and the streaming ecosystem. California's antitrust laws need to meet the reality of today's markets. You've heard that. Right now, a handful of media conglomerates determine the entertainment Californians can consume and how much we pay for it. 46 other states have laws against single market actors crushing competition, and it's time California enacted simple and clear legislation to rein in anti-competitive conduct. I find often when California is spoken about, we are either way out in left field or we are behind. Let's not be behind on this. Let's join the party. Without these rules, other competitors will continue getting squeezed, and the people like me who make movies and TV series, all available on streaming if you'd like to watch, I still get residuals. And the audience who's loved these programs will feel the impact. Thank you again for having me today. The Writers Guild of America West is proud to co-sponsor AB 1776, and I'm a very good improviser, so I know what we did, and I'd like to bring up Ivy Arthur.
Well, you've heard a lot today from our small businesses, creative workforce, and ag and labor folks, and they all told the same basic story. People and small businesses are getting squeezed by dominant corporations.
Yes.
I see this at back home in my district, and I see it across California. We've got family-run farms, local processors, and small businesses doing everything right. And they're working hard, and they're innovating. They provide good products and good services. But they still struggle when one dominant player can use its power to squeeze them out instead of competing on their merits. That's not competition. And that's a big problem.
Yes.
Markets work best when there are clear rules and a fair shot for everyone.
Right.
California's Cartwright Act was written in 1907. Hello, people, things have changed. Open up your eyes, have a vision. In a different economy we are in. Think about it. What we did 50 years ago is not the same as what we're doing today. And for God's sakes, my legislators need to have a vision on what's coming at us, and we're not doing it. That's why I introduced AB 1776, the Compete Act. And this isn't something we just came up on a whim. We just didn't wake up one morning and say, well, let's just do this bill, this really difficult bill, because I like to have scars on my back each week. It's based on years of careful study and a unanimous recommendations from the California Law Revision Committee. 3 years they worked on this. We work on bills for 6 months. Hello, we have a guidepost on how to do this. I'm committed to continue to work with the stakeholders who come to the table on the remaining issues. This bill makes competition about innovation. It's about hard work. It's about fair play, not about who can shut everyone out. It doesn't punish success.
Right.
How many times do you have to say that? We don't want to punish success, and it doesn't stop companies from growing. It makes sure that when the dominant company abuses its power, it harms competition.
Right. California
has the tools to respond. Just like 45 other states have closed that loophole, and we're behind? Hello? AB 1776 gives businesses clarity, courts guidance, and California's confidence that our markets can work the way they should, with competition keeping prices down and opportunities alive. That's good for small businesses, and it's good for workers. It's good for consumers, and it's good for the California economy and our future. So like Robert Reich says, let's end this today as he would say, anti-competitive shenanigans have got to go. Let's make sure that AB 1776 law and we'll make it through and make sure we have a fair economy, competitive and strong. I just urge all of you to have a conversation, a real heart-to-heart. Forget all the stuff you're seeing out there about how bad I am and how bad the bill is. Let's be fair. Let's have those tough conversations. We've wanted those tough conversations all along, and if you have some ideas, I'm still open to it. But don't harm these people that are here. We have a historic opportunity to change what we need to do, to make sure the economy in California grows, to make sure my neighbors have a job.
Yes.
That they're not fighting to make sure that they have the meat prices that they have for their restaurants, that my child care workers. Oh my God, you guys, we fight for our children all the time, and we can't make sure that the products that they need for running child care works. For a young lady that has the stationery stores and stuff, how can we take care of these people? And the Writers Guild. You know, we do taxes here to make sure we take care of the industry. Hello, we're not taking care of the writers and the creative people that are doing the job. Wake up.
Yes.
Wake up, everyone. So with that, I want to thank you for all being here today. As you know, I love my job. I'm passionate about what we do and how we can make change California. And thank you very much for being here today.